have lesson 78, it will be arrays. What's the meaning of arrays? It's objects that are arranged in rows and columns with no gaps. Arrays have horizontal rows and vertical columns. Look here. Can you see this circle? This circle is sleeping, is horizontal, so it represents rows. Can you see another circle? It's vertical, is standing, so it will be column. When I ask you here the number of rows and number of columns, look here, number of rows. I told you the row, it will be sleeping. How many here? I have here 2 rows. And I ask you now, number of columns. The column is standing. How many columns is standing? I have here 4 columns. Don't forget, I told you array is groups of rows and groups of columns with no gaps between them. Look here. Look at the following figures, then choose whether it's an array or a picture. The first one I have here, he asked me, this array or picture? Of course, this array. Why? Because I don't see here any gaps between them. I have groups of row and groups of column. Look to another one. He asked me here, this array or a picture? This picture, of course, because I can see here a gap. Look to the third. This is picture or array? Of course, this picture, because I can see here a gap between them. Look to the last one here, this array or a picture? Of course, this array, because I have group of rows and group of columns, and it will be array. Complete the following. He asked me here, how many rows, how many columns? I told you the rows, it will be horizontal, but the column, it will be vertical. By the way, the row, it will be sleeping, and the column, it will be standing. How many rows here? Count with me. 1, 2, 3. I have here 3 rows. Write 3. Now he asked me, how many columns? Count with me. 1, 2, 3. I have here 3 columns. Look to another one. He asked me here, how many rows, how many columns? Count with me. I told you first, the rows is sleeping. Count with me. 1, 2, and 3. I have here 3 rows. How many columns? The column is standing. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Write 4. Look to another one. He asked me here, how many rows, how many columns? Count with me. 1, 2, 3. And this arrow represents the rows. I write 3. How many columns? The columns is standing. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Write 5. Build your own array using the given case. The first one I have here, make an array using stars. I can create array by using columns or rows. I use here in this one the rows. If I put in the first row 4 stars, I should complete in each row 4 stars to become array. Look here, I determine first how many rows. I have here 3 rows. I should in each row I put 4 stars or 3 stars or 2 stars. If I put 2 stars, I complete in the second and third 2 stars. If I put in the first one 3 stars, I put in the second and third 3 stars. I put here 4 stars. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. In the second row, I should put 4 else. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the last one, I put what? I put 4. 1, 2, 3. Like this, grade 2, this is wrong. If I left like this, It become picture. I should complete. One starts else to become an array. I have another one here. Make an array using triangle. I told you before I can use row by column or row. I use it here, the column. Determine the column. I have here 2 columns. I should put in each column the same number of triangles, okay? I put 1 and 2. And the second column, 1 and 2 to become array. Make an array using circle. I use it here, the rows. Determine the row first. I determine 2 rows. I should put in each row the same number of circles. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. The second row I put 4 else. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have another one here. Make an array using rectangle. I use it here, the column. Determine how many columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should in each column I put the same number of rectangle. Okay, don't forget. 1, 2. In the second column, 1, 2. In the third column, 1, 2. And the fourth column, 1, 2. In the fifth column, 1 and 2 to become this array.